Well, a Russian senior general has revealed that Russia plans to take full control of Donbass and the southern region of Ukraine. According to reports, the deputy commander of Russia's central military district says Moscow is aiming to create a land bridge to Crimea. Our correspondent Sasha Vakulina says that the general's comments reveal what may be Russia's original motives for launching the war.
Well, we've heard from the very beginning from Moscow that the core demands were demilitarization, denazification and legal protection for the Russian language in Ukraine. Later on, Moscow said that they would like Ukraine to abandon any NATO ambitions. And now we've heard about these new goals, and they do explain some of the moves by Russia, because when it comes to full control of Donbass, Donbass is a huge area of Ukraine that starts somewhere northeast where Kharkiv is, and Kharkiv has been bombarded for days now without any calm day there. Then it goes into land connection between Russia and Crimea. And this is what's been happening with Mariupol. This is why Russia really concentrated so much attention and forces around Mariupol. Full control of southern Ukraine and land access to the Transnistria region. Here, this would explain Russia's forces, the moves from Kherson. Now, to get to Transnistria, they would have to move from Kherson, which they now occupy, towards Mykolaiv region, and then from there towards Odessa, this way to get to Transnistria. Initially, there were also some attempts to attack Odessa from the sea. They did not work out, and this is when we saw some operations in the land, how they tried to move Kherson, Mykolaiv, Odessa, and then to Transnistria. This is a huge part of Ukraine, and also bringing back some of those demands from the very beginning by Moscow when it comes to the protection of Russian language in Ukraine. When it comes to the east and the south of Ukraine, there are many, many Russian speakers among those civilians that have been victims now of this war.
In the city of Mariupol, just outside Mariupol, there has been the grim pictures, at least through satellite imagery, of what appears to be mass grave sites there. They appear that they could be larger than those in Bucha. What more can you tell us about what we've seen so far?
There are signs and there are arguments to say that they will be bigger than those in Bucha. Even we're just comparing these two cities. Bucha before the war, that is around 40,000 people. Mariupol before the war, this is 500,000 people. This is a huge city. And also, Bucha was occupied for 1 month. Mariupol has been occupied since the 1st of March with very little connection. There is no coverage there. People don't have any connection there, even to inform their close ones about what's been happening there. So clearly, 2 months into the siege of Mariupol, the situation there I'm afraid, will be worse when we see the result of these 2 months. And also, the idea of a possible Easter truce for these 4 days did not work out. We know that Russia did not agree. This is President Zelensky who said that Russia did not agree on these possible Easter truce, which is also significant because most of population in Ukraine will be celebrating Easter this Sunday, and Sunday the 24th of April marks also 2 months exactly from the beginning of the war.
German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has pledged to send more weapons to Ukraine, but has refused to send heavy armaments. Speaking to Der Spiegel magazine, Scholz said his top priority is to avoid escalating tensions with Moscow and risk starting World War III. But Germany is working on a plan to enable its ally, Slovenia, to supply Ukraine with tanks by agreeing to replace them from its own supplies. Jonah Callaghan reports from Berlin.
Ukrainian flags are still hanging outside the Russian embassy here in Berlin, and activists are still writing messages from the German people to the Russian president. But a political storm is also brewing in Germany. The criticism of how German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has handled the Russian invasion of Ukraine is growing. Jessica Berlin is a visiting fellow at the German Marshall Funds Foundation.
Already leading into this crisis, Olaf Scholz's strategy has seemed to have been do as little as possible, as late as possible, in order to not be caught out on the wrong side of history. But right now, his argument is Germany can't go it alone. Germany will only act in lockstep with our allies. However, that argument is slowly starting to lose water, because actually our allies are doing a lot more.
The current debate is not just about Germany buying Russian gas, but mostly